Evening, Brett.
Congratulations. Best first quarter for a long, long time, equal to the club record, I believe, and you must have been delighted.
Yeah, it was 9 goals, and I think 4 of those goals come in the last 3 minutes of the first quarter. Look, and on the back of West Coast doing a few things different, having Staker and Leach and those sort of guys playing on the wing and then sitting behind the ball, it made it a little bit difficult early, but once we adjusted, we actually found our mark quite well.
Heavy emphasis on contested possession. I think you outpointed them 42-24, and clearances 15-5. That's the stats you want to see.
They're the areas that a lot of clubs would focus on to win the game, and clearly we'd beaten West Coast in the first quarter in those areas that gave us the sort of ascendancy we're looking for. On the back of emotion and the day, and Sean McManus and etc., there was a little bit of a concern that we may go over the top and be a bit overzealous with the way we attacked the ball, but it wasn't to be.
No doubt Pavlich, McFarlane, Shammer, Sandilands, etc. were exceptional yesterday. Pav won the Ross Glendinning medal, and rightfully so for his performance in the first half. The bloke who set the standard for you, he continues to thrive in that midfield role. His name's David May.
Yeah, it's just I think more and more you're finding coaches putting guys in around stoppages with bigger bodies, and on the back of us playing Sydney this week, that's where we'll need sort of some bigger bodies when we play against a stoppage specialist side like Sydney. But Mundy's also having the ability to be able to kick goals as well, playing in the midfield, so that adds to the ingredient of that he can sustain playing in the midfield.
Thought you handled it beautifully last week with Shawnee Mack, his last game. A lot of emotion surrounding that, of course, but I thought that the club handled it very well, and no doubt you put a little bit of emphasis on it, but I think the boys just wanted to do it for themselves.
Yeah, look, it's interesting when you're involved in these last games and players retire. It either goes one way or the other. And Sean was very good in his part. He took a lot of the brunt of the media and interviews, etc., which took the focus away from the playing group. And then naturally he only made one speech throughout the course of the week about what he expected to happen in his last game. And there was a moment just before the game where we had a 4 or 5 minute video on Sean's career and paid tribute to him, and that was a little bit emotional for him. But apart from that, he held himself pretty well.
Oh, I thought it was outstanding. I thought the West was outstanding.
I'd just like to compliment that. It's fantastic. Both, as a contest, I thought it was a truly contest. West Coast kept coming the whole game. But the way that the players and John conduct themselves in respect to Sean's last game, I thought was sensational. So, well done.
Weeks ago, you thought that you could be dangerous. I mean, you've been at least shut up.
Well, that's where we're heading. We've now sort of gone to Adelaide and play some sides for a fight, whether it be a top or in between 5th and 8th. So we're sort of starting to run out of players. I've seen a few more players have to have operations last week. He's Blake and Robbie Warnock and those sort of guys. We've got some younger players in the side, and we're giving opportunity to other guys. Even this week, for instance, we may consider a guy like Brown to come back in the side, which is just having a look at our list in depth.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Jeff Farmer sidelined for a week, untimely for him, but he still continues to get the ball, but he's just not finishing his bread and butter. He snaps around goal, etc., just missing, getting a little bit wayward. No,
you're right, but he did look sharp. I mean, there was a little bit of the old wizard back there, and we'd sort of changed his training program last week, which freshened up. So I saw a real spark in the way Jeff was playing, and he did give us a lot of drive, and adds a different dimension to what is a different structure for us now. You're right, he missed a couple of goals that he should have got, but he was back to his sort of sneaky, snarly best, I thought, and just unfortunate what happened. It looked to me it was a minor offence, but he's obviously has to pay the penalty, which is a week. We're not contesting it.
What about you got to go to Sydney this week? Hasn't been a happy hunting ground for the Fremantle per se. Anything different you'll try and do? Because they're just paddling at the moment, I reckon, Harves.
Yeah, there's a real opportunity, although it'll be interesting to see what sort of side they feel this week. There's talked to Goods and Barry and Malcheski and these sort of blokes might come back in the side, so all of a sudden they might have some of their key players back in. So it'll be interesting to see what happens throughout the course of the week. I think the fact that we're playing, I think we've only won once there in our period of time that we've been going to Sydney, and so it's at the SCG. So what we'll do is we'll change the size of the ground and the width of the ground to complement what's going to happen on Saturday night.
You convinced yourself now that Luke McFarlane will stay forward?
Yeah, I've sort of been fairly convinced for a period of time there, although, Chris Scott, for instance, who's in charge of the defence, he's just leave him there, he's one of those. Luke's stats, he said it's a light, really, in some of his marking and leading was really timely for the team. he just provides another avenue down there. And, Pavlich. Oh, look, I thought Pavlich was as good as Luke till half time. They were both sensational and really set us alight.
I've had some healthy debate with West Coast fans and others today that's saying that the Eagles have got plenty out. Yes, they have, but just outline what playing in your team aren't on a regular basis that could have been in that team yesterday.
Well, on top of the guys that we've had retire, and then you've got, your Headlands and Hazelbys and these sort of guys. Roger Hayden hasn't been in the side a hell of a lot throughout the course of this year, and, even a guy like a drum that we hold in high regard, has been injured. Robbie Warnock, of course, is basically our second ruckman. Solomon and those sort of guys. So there is quite a bit of depth there that we didn't have in the side, and a couple of younger players that we have got high expectations on as well. So, Gilmore, and it keeps going. We've got a long list at the moment.
Well, the point I was making is that you don't worry about who you haven't got, Harvey. You worry about who you have got.
No, that's right. And unfortunately, what happens is because of the win-loss and the pressure of winning at the time clubs, we tend to fall back on that. But I try not to use it too much.
So I'll let you go. It's been terrific to talk to you, mate. Handling of player penalties. I don't want to draw you into the Heath Shaw one, but what's going to be your hard and fast rule down Fremantle way? Hopefully it doesn't happen, but if somebody does transgress, are you for making them miss a game, or do you think it's to detriment of the team if they do happen to miss games?
Well, I did it last year, Brad, if you remember the last game before Port Adelaide, and they were sort of for offences that weren't as severe as possibly what's happened at Collingwood. So I think the players have really taken it to heart. We haven't had too many behaviour problems since then. It's been really good. So that's the stance that I took, and the players understand that. Now, and having listened to Eddie Maguire's press conference, he's certainly taken it to another level with his reaction as a precedent, which then actually puts pressure on the whole AFL list of players, because to see Eddie react like that'll sort of become the temperature for anything that happens down the track from an AFL point of view. So I wouldn't like to be a player in the near future that has a mishap like that.
Well, it's going to go further, this story, Harves. Thanks for your time, mate. Have a listen to the statement after you get off the phone, and maybe turn the radio on if you're in your car at home, because I think you'll find it very, very interesting, mate. Good luck on the weekend in Sydney.
Thanks, Brad.